The 49ers have a massive problem that nobody is talking about. What's up, everybody? We're here to start talking about the NFC West. We're starting off with the 49ers. We're going to start off there. The Cardinals, we didn't think that they deserved their actually own show. So we're just not going to really go over them because the rest of this division is absolutely stacked and we could not wait for it. But we got the normal crew here. We got Patty. We have Nick. But we're going to jump right into it for actually you guys. Um, as far as their win total is set, it's kind of one of those interesting ones because they have it set at 9.5, but that is pretty heavily juiced to the over at minus 146. But then at 10.5, it is heavily juiced to the under at minus 150. So, like we've said on a couple of other teams, to me, that's the books telling you they really think this team is going to win 10 games. That is really what that says. Um, but besides that, to win the division, now this is technically the like third place team. They're saying the third best team in this division, and they're plus 310. So as you can see, between these three teams, between the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Niners, the odds are all fairly close. Then, like I said, the Cardinals are something dumb, like plus I don't know, thousands and thousands. But I think this is a very interesting team. I mean, of course, you got Brock, you got CMC, then you got Mike Evans, you got Debo, you got Christian Kirk, you have George Kittle. But the main thing I'm seeing there is you got a lot of guys that are either already dealing with actually something currently now, or either guys that are prone to actually getting hurt. And then if you look at some of this team's kind of getting old, guys. So let's start off with Nick tonight. Nick, what are you thinking here about this Niners team?
Yeah, this massive problem that they have is they gotta stay on the field. They throughout the years, the past couple of years, we know they've dealt with injuries defensively, offensively, guys coming in and out. They went ahead, got some new guys here. Mike Evans, injury problem. Kirk, um, he's been healthy, but he's been starting to get hurt a little bit more. I would say. Obviously, C-Mac, he has a little history. He had a great season last year. Purdy still get banged up. That's just the offensive side. Defensively, Bosa kind of misses games. Fred Werner, he's been a healthy for most of his career, but on the back end, it seems like he's starting to get hurt a little more. Dre Greenlaw's come back from injury. Um, so basically, long story short, they have names. Can they stay on the field, right? Now, as far as breaking it down, I'm not going to break it down if they're healthy. I'm going to break it down assuming they're healthy and they're ready to go. This team could be competitive. They will go far. I think they could win 10 games here. So I like the over 9.5. Just looking at their schedule, they got some easy ones. They got the Dolphins, they got the Cardinals twice, they got the Commanders, the Falcons, the Raiders. They like to beat the Cowboys, the Vikings. We'll see what's going on with that. So there's already like I just named off 7 or 8 wins, and then you have those 50-50 games where I think they could end up winning. Um, so I do like them to win games. They got a great structure going on. We all know about the Shanahan coaching tree. They brought in a new coach for the defensive coordinator because they lost the other guy. He's the head coach of the Titans now. Raheem Morris, he was the head coach of the Falcons. Now, obviously, didn't really work out there. But I would say they had a good defensive unit while he was there for the most part. So we'll see what he ends up doing here. And I'm excited to see this team. As a Cowboys fan, I don't really like watching them win, but they're always a competitive team. Um, I think adding Mike Evans actually gives them that deep threat receiver. Also in the red zone, big body to kind of take some weight off of Christian McCaffrey. I like that signing for them. They also got Kirk, who could kind of run those in between routes, get into the middle of the field, uh, help them out there. And then they have another guy. I don't know what they're doing with him. I'm not going to say his name, but uh, yeah. So I like what they're doing. They got George Kittle coming back from injury. We'll see how he adjusts from that injury. Um, and I'm excited to see what they end up doing here. I like their over. And I do like for a little small prop if you guys are chasing some props here. Mike Evans at 750 yards. Minus 160. You can add that as a parlay piece, or you could chase the 1,000 yards. We all know it didn't really work out last year, but he's a guy who he'll stack up some yards. So thousands plus 250. It's a little juicy.
I like that. Um, I was about to ask you something, Nick, but Patty, let's actually you go.
Yeah. And the Niners kind of had a sneaky offseason. Like they had some big pickups and spots that they really needed it, the offense. Um, and it, and I think they made the right moves for what was out there for them. Um, that said, JD, you hit the nail on the head here. The problem here is this roster 5 years ago wins the Super Bowl hands down, but
Right.
it's not 5 years ago. Um, I have some serious concerns about CMC. He carried the load in Carolina. He was the guy. He was the guy last year. He's got a lot of miles on him. Um, and Nick, I think you said it. Like he just didn't feel like himself, and I don't think that that's going to get any better. I think he's pushing. I'd have to go back and look, but he's like 10 or 12 years in the league now, right? Which is a lot for a running back. It's a lot for a workhorse. So that scares me a little bit. But I think that they went out and got the offensive weapons that they need. Um, I think the question mark for me, and I don't think we've talked about it yet, is Brock. And what is he going to do? He has had some injury problems as well. But he hasn't felt like the guy for me. Kind of feels like a middle of the road guy. Some of that is because he hasn't had the pieces around him, and I recognize that. This year has to be a year for Brock. If the Niners are going to do anything, and I very much think that they could win 10 games. That is not outside of the realm of possibility. I think, like Nick said, they've got 6 or 7 cupcakes. You win a couple of coin flip games, and all of a sudden you're there. So I like that. I think they're going to have to get a lot of those wins early in the season because if they're battling injuries, we gonna have problems. Um, that's kind of my initial thought there. The one thing that I really like about this is when I was researching for this show, it sounds like Kittle is pretty confident he's going to be back at the beginning of the year. Um,
What it's sounding like.
yeah, that's what it's sounding like. I like that a lot. I think tight end might be one of the most underrated positions in the NFL, especially in this offense. I think that could really be a great cog, and obviously a great check down or opportunity there as well. And we know he's a good tight end. So when I'm thinking about props, there's a couple that I'm thinking about there. Um, One is Kittle touchdowns over 5.5. That number feels pretty easy to me, especially knowing CMC is probably not going to get as many as he traditionally has. Mike Evans is probably going to get hurt again because he always does. He always wrecks my heart. Um, so you've got Debo. Like, there's not a whole lot of other offensive threats out there when those two start going down. So I think Kittle becomes that guy for some sneaky touchdowns. I also am not mad at his 725 um, or over 725 receiving yards when he's stayed healthy. He's covered that the majority of the time recently, anyway. So I think this year is Kittle's year to do something for us on the prop side.
I'm curious. A bigger body like him, how that Achilles, right? He had the Achilles tear.
Yeah, he's got Achilles.
I want to see how he recovers from that. But there's another point that you brought up, and I kind of glossed over it, but now that I remember it, um, Brock Purdy. They kept Mac Jones on the roster here, and I think even if Brock goes down, Mac Jones is a competent enough quarterback.
That's
Or
fair.
even if Brock Purdy is struggling, maybe out the gate, I know he's their guy, but I don't. I think Shanahan's the kind of coach to kind of make an adjustment, and he won't be scared to go. Mac, you're the guy now. Um, So I like.
Well,
I think whoever's their quarterback, I think one of the two is definitely going to be fine.
the key there, what you just said is like actually they're like coach and actually like the guy calling the plays.
Yep.
I mean, like he's one of the best, if actually not the best.
He's a schemer for sure.
Yeah, as far as this offense, like I love them. Like I think they're gonna have a great year. Yeah, Patty, like you're saying, I see Mike Evans like having like a hamstring, like actually pulling a hamstring in actually week 4. Like that just
You mean he has a hamstring?
right.
He should have had it removed, man. The number of times he's torn it.
All right, there,
Right.
you actually just know that that's going to come at actually some point here. But as far as this offense, I actually rank high, very actually high here. And as we go into these next couple teams in this division, you'll notice that there's something that as far as the Ravens, how I said I really like them because their offense and their defense rank for me both in the top 10. Well, that's where you can kind of see where I'm going with this. But the 49ers, they do not. And that as far as their defense, especially. And I'm surprised from just looking at names, I wouldn't think this. But as I grade everything out, I'm not as high on their defense as actually most people are. Specifically, actually, like run stop. And actually, then like coverage grades are actually fairly low too. So Nick, I actually know that actually you are higher on them than actually me, and I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts there.
Yeah, I think if they're all healthy, they added Osa, Odiggy's, I can't even say his name, Osa Odigizua, whatever,
Yeah.
Osa, right? So that's gonna help Nick Bosa out. They're not gonna double team, triple team him, open up some space. We all know Fred Warner, his IQ is off the charts. As far as what he's gonna get that defense in line. As far as their back end, they got Jack Jones. I like Jack Jones, Diamador Lenore. Names I can't pronounce, I swear. But Diamador Lenore. If all these guys could stay healthy, I think that they could cause some havoc. I am a little worried if there's like a speedster receiver that they're not gonna be able to cover them down the field. But that's the whole point of getting to the quarterback and not letting them do these deep throws. And I think they're gonna with Raheem Morris, the way he draws up plays, they're gonna be trying to get after the quarterback there and making it harder for him to even make those throws down the field. And it's actually gonna help the secondary out. So I think with Dre Greenlaw, Fred Werner, these guys, I think they'll be able to kind of make it easier for them. And we all know what Shanahan loves to do. Tick, 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 tick. Right?
Yeah.
How much time is that offense really gonna have? And the way Raheem Morris is gonna draw up some plays, sack the quarterback. Now you got time ticking. He's they play this game, and I really don't like it as far as like how they really do, but I get it, right? The less time that a team has to score, the better chance you have, or the more time that you have the ball, the less time the other team could score because they don't have the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of always been their style. They're gonna run it down your throat, kill clock, get a nice big play, kill clock, and that's gonna help their defense out. And I think it was gonna help Raheem Morris kind of coach this defense too.
Yeah. You know what the sucky part is for the Niners? I think they legitimately have a shot to win probably half of the other divisions in the NFL if they weren't in the West. Like they are a good team.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy part. For the odds that they're hanging, if you're like an EV better, and the way that their front loaded schedule starts, taking them to win the division and maybe hedging yourself out could be a smart little play because they have a kind of an easier schedule in that front half.
The only thing you
Outside
have
of week
to,
one.
I was about to say the only thing you have to decide there is do you do this before or after week 1? But that gonna brings me into my next point. Week 1 they play the Rams, but this is a Melbourne game, guys.
Yeah.
They're going far away
forgot
from
about
home,
that.
far away from home. And
Crazy shit happens when
what
you
I
travel.
found out is the 49ers are going to be out there for a week. They actually want to get adjusted for that time. Whereas, far as I've read, the Rams are basically going to get there the day before.
Oh, that's fucking stupid. Give me the Niners.
Well, Well, they're doing that, and each one has a different reason why, and it makes sense, because each one, I think, for as far as the 49ers, that's going to fuck them up for actually week 2, trying to then go back. Though they're going to be playing the actual Dolphins, so like I can see why they did that.
nobody.
So I can see why they did it, but
If they beat the Rams, I mean, they could really start out like 10-1, like, and maybe they have a chance against the Seahawks. Like they have like Dolphins, Cardinals, Broncos, Commanders, Falcons, Raiders, Cowboys, Vikings. Like
There's a shot. There's a
that at
legitimate
that
shot.
plus 310 that they're hanging at you right now. If they start out 5-1, 6-1, Rams I take an early L. Maybe the Seahawks kind of start out slow because of whatever. This might be an
it's
interesting strategy that someone, I would probably employ myself.
yeah. I don't mind what the Rams are doing either. If they were going out there 2 to 3 days ahead of time, I actually wouldn't like that as much. So because that way, like you're halfway getting used to it. I would rather be there just like they're doing. Just do it the day, be like 4, and just play. I feel like that would be better than getting that between 2 and 3 days.
Well, yeah, but I think the full week prep there is the move, and I think I'd have to go back and look, but I feel like when we think about Europe and those games, I feel like that's the play. It's never like show up the day before.
Yeah, and I feel like for their specific team, these old guys, they like to kind of be in like a schedule, right? They could get themselves acclimated, sleep on time, all that stuff. That'll definitely help them out more.
Yep.
So that is going to definitely be a very interesting game there. But guys, I really don't have a lot to say about this team. Just actually kind of what I've already said. As far as the offense goes, I think they're going to be really good. I know we say it, and you're probably getting tired of us saying it, but it's just if they stay healthy. But with this team, I think it just means more than actually other teams because so many of their stars are guys that seemingly get hurt almost every year or are basically already hurt. So that's why for this team, I like really do think that's what it means. As far as their schedule, we've already kind of went over it a little bit. I'm not going to go too much further into it. I actually have them winning actually 10 games. So as far as value on anything, I like really don't see anything there. If a book would give me a prop for CMC over or under games played, I would actually probably go under there.
I bet you could take that on like a prediction market.
You know what? I could actually make that. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I might do that. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
We're gonna have to go talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
That sounds really appealing.
Because actually, one of our new sponsors, which I'm not going to say yet, because we don't have. I mean, we actually did just sign everything, but we don't have all the stuff ready yet. We can make stuff like actually that through actually them as well. So yeah, we
That's
may have
really
to do that.
appealing.
But anyway, more to come on that. More to come on that, guys. But yeah, there's a good team. I mean, like there's actually no doubt about it. But I'm honestly really excited to actually talk about these next two teams. So do you fellas have anything else here on the Niners?
I think I have one more thing.
Okay.
If you guys didn't like the 49ers to win the division, but you definitely want to take something, take them to make the playoffs at minus 130.
Ooh.
I really like that bet because again, the 10 wins usually get you into the playoffs. 11, depending, I guess 10 will get you in. It's just that they're in this crazy division, so the odds are a little harder. They're basically saying they're gonna have to come in as a wild card because they have other teams favored. But again, I mean, they this division kind of lucked out with an easier schedule. So they're going to be right there and sitting at minus 130 with the way the schedule is. I mean, you could even hedge yourself out at some point if you really want to.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can see that.
I like it.
Can see that. guys, I think that's going to do it for us on the San Fran team. But make sure to be on the lookout for tomorrow, where you will be seeing us break down the Seattle Seahawks. But until then, hope everybody has a great night, day. I'm not really sure when this is going to come out. But yeah, let's fucking win, guys. Later.